So ask me that question again.
Oh yeah, is it good to think of gender as a spectrum with man and woman or male and female being at the poles or at the ends of the spectrum?
Right. Now are you thinking about this like as if you have your gay spectrum and one side is strictly homosexual and strictly heterosexual? If we think of gender on that same way, it's like strictly male versus strictly female.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't
think that
know.
I think they're both poor ways of, because you're taking a concept that's extremely nuanced and trying to fit it into ones and zeros, and it doesn't work like that. Like you should be using
No.
quantum computing to model gender and sexuality.
Well, I don't think gender is a one. It's not like a line. It's not like yeah.
Yeah.
There's a line with two poles. I think it's more of it's a square or a cube or a tesseract or multi-dimensional kind of thing with multiple variables surrounding it. I'm
Mm.
also not a gender sociologist, so I don't know a lot about this.
I mean, because I'm thinking like it just it just maybe not um advertently, more inadvertently. Look at that body. Maybe
Look
it
at
just more
it.
inadvertently sort of puts male and female as like these end all be alls, and that can have uh that can make those two gender expressions, genders, sexes, as almost more important because they're at the poles. And I don't want to place more importance on them when describing
Right.
gender and sex. They should all be equally important. So I don't think spectrum, because when I think of spectrum, I think like the visible light spectrum, and you think of just like a solid line and then just differences along the line. I want to think
Right.
of it more in quantum computing. You know about quantum computing?
No, I actually don't know much about quantum
So
computing. No.
I don't know either because I know nothing about coding and computers. But the only thing I do know is that quantum computing is that instead of ones and zeros, it can exist between ones and zeros.
Right.
So it allows it for more complicated processes and more processing power. That's the only thing I know about it, and that's the only thing I'm going to say about it. I'm going to close up like a clam.
Because you know what? Current computers are probably one of the only things in our existence that is a binary system because that's how computers are coded. Um,
Yeah.
so quantum computing, I wonder what powers that would be able to, have on the internet, for example.
Well, they do exist. Quantum computers do exist. I think the problem is that they just take so much, like, I think like physical RAM or like physical. I'm not a computer person. I don't know. Physical like,
We actually have no
ener-
idea what we're talking about.
I Wikipedia'd it, and I'm an expert. It takes like too much, like maybe like power to operate. Like because you remember
Right.
like the first computer was huge.
It needs a tesseract to operate.
Oh, don't get me started on fifth dimensional, fourth dimensional objects. I will cream. I don't know
The
why I
ninth
love that so
dimension.
much. The ninth dimension.
Yeah, the ninth isn't in the good place they talk about like nine dimensions.
Oh, right. And then Jeremy Bearimy.
Oh, Jeremy Bearimy, because time is not linear. It's more of a Jeremy Bearimy.
Yeah, and there's
Um,
that dot.
you know what I learned recently that kind of blew my mind since we're on the topic of gender.
Yeah.
So apparently, and I think this still exists, but there's like this group of humans, um, that this like society wherever they are, I forget exactly where they are. Um, but they have a strange genetic, I don't want to call it anomaly, but it's something that's different in their genes, in which males will basically be born with vaginas, and then it won't be until puberty that their testicles and penis like form.
Is this real? What?
I th- I was reading about it and I was like, this sounds fake, but it's
Wait, is this
interesting.
like a currently living group of people, or is this like a prehistoric people?
I need to reread it. It said that they were kind of still
Uh,
around.
uh, we are just out here talking about things we have no business talking
Here, I'll
about.
I'll find it on the interwebs and then I
Oh
will I
God,
will link it to you.
that's definitely interesting.
I'll find it later. I'll find it later. It was extremely interesting. Anyway, And you know what else I heard that was also a really strange fact? This one I know for a fact is true. You ready for this?
Yes.
Sharks are older than trees.
That's not surprising.
It's surprising to me because I don't know
Why?
why.
Why is it?
Because I'm like, oh, for some reason in my mind, the evolutionary timeline is like plants were there and then, more complex organisms formed. But plants are complex organisms. They just don't have conscious thought. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it was just shocking to me that I was like, oh, an actual like complex creature like a shark existed before maybe
Wait,
a
is
less
this true
complex
though?
organism.
Is this one a fact? Have you made sure this is a fact?
Oh my God, do you need me to look it up? I'll look it up real quick.
Well, I don't want to spouting falsehoods, but I will say, I mean, yeah, because a lot of things started in the ocean way before it got on land, and first land plants weren't trees.
The earliest evidence of shark fossils dates back as far as 450 million years, which means they existed before trees, which we have earliest record of 90 million years ago.
Yeah, because trees weren't the first land plants, so there were land plants probably
yeah.
around some time, but they were not trees. Bryophytes maybe some bryophytes.
Maybe. Oh, what are those?
I think it's like a fern. No, that's not right. I don't know. Now I'm spitting like lies. Don't listen to me.
Now, so the sharks being older than trees thing, that one is true. That is not a lie. I just found that so interesting.
You know what I find interesting?
What?
You.
That's why you co-host the podcast with me. Called What Did the
That's
Goat
why. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, I have the power of editing in which I can cut things out of the podcast. Okay.
Can you cut me out? The video, I mean? Don't put my face in.
No.
Can you post a picture of like Jackie's face on top of mine and then use AI to render it?
Well, I won't be able to use AI to render it, but I could totally Photoshop an image of Jackie's face over you right now in the video if I'm not lazy enough. Let's see if I'm lazy enough or not.
Will it track though? If I move left to right, will it track?
No, that would be too complicated. It'll just be a
Oh.
PNG image of Jackie on your face, like
Well,
at this very moment. Anyway,
what are you gonna do?
we have to intro the podcast because we haven't done that yet, and we're 7 minutes in.
Well, I didn't know we were starting, but you didn't say.
Well, come on, you should have known by now that after this.
Anyway, this is the What Do the Gays Think podcast with myself, Patrick, and my co-host. Let me think. What's a good the loose-stooled Matt.
Oh,
how are you?
You know what's funny? Because I was gonna call you a Dunkin' addict when I was gonna.
Well, they really go hand in hand, don't they?
They do go.
They
hand
do
in
go
hand,
hand in
actually.
hand. Because the moment I step in my building after drinking my coffee on the drive over, T-minus 30 seconds until it's fucking Niagara Falls out of this sphincter.
For
mama.
me, it's almost instantaneous. It'll be like I'll drink the coffee and then maybe
Really?
5 minutes later, I'm like, it's time to go. Especially Dunkin'. Dunkin' happens so
Now,
unusually quickly.
So is that first shit solid or is it immediately diarrhea or like loose? Not diarrhea, but loose.
I would say usually loose, unless I've had a lot of Metamucil. It depends on the day.
Well, sponsor us, Metamucil sponsor.
Sponsor Metamucil
Or Pure for Men. Oh, Pure for Men's so expensive. I'd love it if they sponsor.
Why does
they
it
give us
for
free
men?
shit? Pure for Men is a fiber. You never saw Pure for? You don't get those ads?
No, I don't have any.
Pure for Men is a
ads
fiber
now.
supplement for men who take it up the butt.
Oh, I see.
It's their line. Their line is like "Stay ready for cock," that kind of thing. It's so garish.
What about women who take it up the ass though?
Well, then they gotta get Pure for Women. I don't think that's a brand, but it should be.
We were just talking about the gender spectrum. Why does it have to be pure for men, pure for women? Why can't it be pure for everyone? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Metamucil's the same thing. It's just a psyllium husk thing, so you might as well just get Metamucil because it's cheaper. I'm pretty sure.
Should we get personal? Should we get in?
Yeah, get in, get on, and get wet. What do you got going on?
A couple of things.
Yeah, tell me.
Well, the first one is I changed up my medication for ADHD.
Oh yeah.
I think I told you I'm now on a different non-stimulant medication. Wellbutrin.
Wellbutrin. How are you feeling? Well,
I am feeling well. Am I feeling more productive? I don't know, because it's one of those things again where it takes a couple weeks to kick in. So I'm kind of like, all right, I don't really feel
All right.
I don't really feel a difference from the other medication that I was on, but we'll see. I still have to give it a
Right.
couple weeks. Um, I still think I'm gonna need the stimulant medication, honestly,
Mm,
just
mm.
because of my tendency to be always tired.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if you're always tired, the problem isn't the, the solution isn't a stimulant unless you've been diagnosed with like a sleep issue. That's or
Yeah,
like something that's causing your tiredness, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Like not being able to focus or being very easily distracted or, you know, dissociating because you're too overwhelmed, so you need a stimulant to focus you.
yeah.
That's one thing. But like to stay awake, do you need a
that
stimulant? I
that
mean,
is that is two different things. I mean, I take coffee to stay awake, and coffee's a stimulant or caffeine. Um,
true. So maybe just stop doing coffee.
but then I'm like, do I supplement the coffee with a different stimulant, or do I just cut the stimulant out and see how it goes?
Cut the stimulant out and see how it goes. Cold turkey, mama.
Because
Cold turkey.
I think I tried that in the beginning of me taking my other medication, and it was like not working for me.
You ever think of just doing like crack?
um, yeah, I have
Yeah, me
actually. Yeah.
too. Me too. Yeah.
Have
It's
I ever
rough out
done
there.
so? No, though. So,
Yeah. Well, I hope for the best.
there's that, and also I nearly burned my dick off at a barbecue.
Oh. Oh. Why was your dick out at a bar? Was it like a spit and you thought you were gonna roast your weenie? Like what burned your dick off? Did you jump over an open flame? Like what's that thing? Jumped over a candlestick? What's that nursery rhyme?
um, uh, the
Jiminy Cricket? No.
oh, I thought you were thinking of the cows jumping over the fence. Never mind. I don't know what you're
No,
talking
no,
about.
no, the over the candlestick. Jackie would know it.
Jack,
I don't remember.
hey Siri. No.
She's listening.
She is listening. I thought she was gonna
All
go
right, so
off.
how did you burn your dick?
I didn't actually burn my dick. I almost did.
All right, tell
We
me.
were sitting around a
Mm.
fire pit, and I guess I was a little too close. But I was wearing jeans, and one of the little embers popped off and just like landed on my crotch. I didn't see it.
Wait. Oh God.
I did not see that it had landed on my crotch. So maybe 15 to 20 seconds later, someone else like sitting at the fire pit was like, "Matt, your dick is on fire."
And you're like, I know it is. It's so hot. And they're like, no, no, no. Literally, you're on fire.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I looked down, and this piece of ember has like burned its way through my jeans.
You
Made
didn't
a
feel it.
Well, it made a hole in my jeans, but it didn't get down to like my actual underwear because
Oh,
then
then
I'm
you,
like, oh god, and I'm like trying to pat it down and try to
yeah.
put out the ember, and I look down and I'm like, wow, that could have been fun.
Yeah. If it was me, I'd have been like, here, Matt, I'll put it out, and I would just start slapping it. Like, let me get it. Let me get it. And you're just
Let
over
me put
there
that out for you.
getting nut tapped
Let me
like
put it
eight
out with
times in
my
a row.
tongue.
Oh no, that's like the people who like lick their fingers then turn out a candle just by touching it.
Oh, that's crazy to me. That's
Yeah, just do that with your dick. Lick the dick and put it on a candle.
Were you around for the TikTok discourse on candles?
No, no. Wait, is it about how they're not good for dogs?
No, no, no. Oh, okay, this wasn't actually discourse, but people were like trying to figure out how candles worked because they couldn't understand what
Oh,
was
well,
happening.
to be fair, I didn't understand either, and then I learned, and now I get it.
Yeah. But then even after people were explained to this, they were still like, I still don't understand what's going on.
Well, it's a little confusing, if you ask me.
It is weird because you're not burning the wick, you're burning the wax. It's so strange.
Yeah, and it's like, because you think, oh, this wick is a super burnable material, it should just... But
And it
somehow,
doesn't.
it stays lit, and it's like, oh, because it's vaporizing the wax, basically, around it.
I know, it's so weird. It's so bizarre to me. Anyway,
How bizarre.
What's going on in your personal life, Pat? Do you have anything fun going on?
Well, I stabbed myself with a Sharpie. That was fun. My wrist is
Yeah.
still kind of out of commission. My right knee is a little not working well.
So you're falling apart.
Yeah, I think I'm either like about to metamorphosize. I'm about to go through metamorphosis and become like this heightened version of myself, or I'm just dying.
Oh, you're like molting.
Like, do caterpillars shit their pants when they're about to go through metamorphosis? Because it's scary. You know what
Oh,
happens to caterpillars in a cocoon?
don't they like vaporize and like turn into goo?
They digest themselves.
I
And
don't
for
get
a
it.
long
I don't get
time,
it.
scientists didn't know how it worked. And I haven't checked in a while, but I don't think they really know the exact things. But what they discovered was the caterpillar digests itself, becomes liquid, but there are these like discs or defined areas within the cocoon that are oriented to start growing into the butterfly. So there is some sort
Ah,
of like plan. So I'm either
plan.
getting into this cocoon to digest it myself and die, or I'm about to come out, hot girl summer, that kind of thing. And I don't know which it's gonna be.
Don't you find it weird that we like the stomach doesn't digest itself? That's so fascinating.
Oh, it's because of guard cells, mama.
I don't know what those are. I don't know anything
Guard
about anatomy.
guard cells and the stomach lining.
Do you know that they also don't know how eels reproduce currently?
Yeah, because none of them, we can't see them fuck in the wild. They
Exactly.
hide.
They like go off, they vanish, they fuck, and we have just
Yeah,
never observed it.
but we know like seals are big rapists, and so are dolphins.
Oh, I didn't know that seals were rapists. I didn't know the thing about dolphins though.
I think seals are rapists too. There's a lot of
Oh,
weird shit that happens in the ocean, like how sharks are older than trees.
that's why the ocean's so scary.
The ocean is frightening. I don't want to go anywhere near it. I see those videos of deep dives in the ocean, and I was like, we don't belong down there.
We don't belong down. We belong up here. We don't belong down there.
I don't even belong up here. I don't belong anywhere. I gotta go. So
Oh,
anyway, my ankle hurts, my knee hurts, I'm dying, or I'm becoming something even better. And
it's a positive way to
anything
look at it.
else? Well, my team won our most recent volleyball game. All three
Wow.
sets. All three sets, mama.
Wow. Good for you. I'm proud
Um,
of you. Did you play? Did your wrist,
yes, I
go well?
can play volleyball somehow.
Oh, as long as you don't, land on your wrist again. Okay.
I did.
Did we discuss that on the podcast? Do our viewers,
I don't
viewers and listeners
know.
know about your broken hand?
I don't know. I didn't break it. I bruised my scaphoid, which is inside my snuff box. And I know what you're thinking. Not that box. My
The
snuff
snuff.
box.
Oh my god, I gotta add that to the collectibles list. Pat's
Pat's
snuff
snuff
box.
box. Well, there's my snuff box, which is here on my wrist, and then there's my sniff box, which is downstairs. And it always passed the smell test, mama. But I
Wow.
injured my wrist. I went to the hospital, a lot of pain, got on pain medication. Then they sent me home with Advil, which did nothing. It's not great. I still can't really do much with it, but I can move it a little bit more than I could before.
That's good. You know what I just learned that also I found to be wild as well? I just
You're
learned so
learning
many
so
I know. I
much.
learned so many new things this week. It's kind of weird.
Oh my god.
I learned because the way healthcare works is that, or at least the way you think it would work, is that you put money into insurance and the insurance company pays for the healthcare. And that's kind of how the industry works. But it's like that's also not where hospitals and stuff are getting funding from. They're also getting funding from the government, which
Right.
which means we are also paying for our healthcare through taxes anyway, even though that's quote unquote socialism. Um,
Yeah.
so we're giving money to the government to give to hospitals, and then we're also paying the insurance company to give to the hospitals, and then we still have to pay out of pocket stuff as well. We have to pay copays, we have to pay deductibles. We're just
Listen.
we're getting dicked down over here.
Yeah, and you don't even have the benefit of at least spitting in my face. Like, if you're gonna do that, you better. If you're gonna fuck me, you better. You better make me remember it. You better make sure
Oh,
it was a
I
good
will
fucking
make
time.
sure that you remember
Yeah, you better scar me
that
for
time that
life.
you fucked your long distant cousin.
Oh, interesting. Finally admitting it.
Well, we
Anyway,
are long distant cousins.
we
Anyway,
are
yeah.
long distance. That's it for me, really. It's just my ankle. My ankle. No, it's not my. Well, maybe it will be. I don't know. I don't know. It's my wrist and my volleyball. And oh, I'm defending my thesis next month.
Oh yes, I'm so excited for you. Was that the one that you said I
Yeah,
could get in on the Zoom call or no?
yeah. There's a Zoom. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'll send you the link. We'll see what
All
happens.
right, we'll figure that out.
Hmm.
Okay, let's spill the tea, shall we? Let's get into our spill the tea section. What's going on in the social cultural world? I got a couple things that I can talk about here. But
Well, do you want me
why
to go
don't you go
first?
first?
Okay. Oh, what's up? Okay, I'm not gonna get political because we have a whole segment about that.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
let's get social first, okay?
Hmm.
What do we got going on in the zeitgeist right now? Oh no, that's kind of political too. I mean, did we talked about Dylan Mulvaney, right? We did that?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of political, but we could talk about that anyway because that's pretty social, cultural as well.
Yeah. So Dylan Mulvaney is just minding her own business.
I love Dylan
Um,
Mulvaney.
she's popular, or at least she was becoming popular because she was kind of just posting about her life, about her
Yeah.
being trans and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, she was getting bigger. She got a brand deal with a certain beer company, Bud Light. And everyone started losing their mind, losing their shit, couldn't understand like why a beer company they loved was getting like a transgendered sponsor, I guess. And I'm just like watching these videos of it's always white people and it's usually white men going into supermarkets, flinging the beer around, and I'm like,
They're getting so mad. They're getting so mad.
on one hand, I'm like, y'all need to calm down. It's really not that deep. And the other hand, I'm like, Dylan, why would you accept this? Bud Light is disgusting.
Oh,
At least hold out for like a White Claw endorsement or like a Svedka or a Stoli. Like, don't
listen.
settle for Bud
If
Light.
Bud Light came to this podcast and said we want you to do a quick
Oh,
segment on Bud Light, I would be in it immediately. I don't
I
know what you're
would
talking
douche
about.
that fucking can up my ass. I would do anything for a brand deal. Please, better help.
So,
Better help.
better help. No, not better help. But that's probably what Dylan Mulvaney was thinking too. She was probably like, here's a cool brand deal that I got. I'm getting so big. I'm getting famous.
Of
Hell
course,
yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
do a
I'm
deal with
not
Bud
gonna
Light.
blame Dylan, of course, but I'm just it's more like, you know, come on, Dylan, like
Come
get a
on,
better
Dylan.
deal. But in reality, these old white men, and I'm sure other old white people, including old white women, mad at a piece of shit beer company. No offense, Bud Light, if you want to sponsor us. Mad at a bad beer. Like it's light beer. Light beer is the worst kind of beer.
And not that is true. Actually, I do like me a good dark beer.
Like if Guinness sponsored the pod,
I love me a
oh
Guinness.
shit.
I love Guinness
Oh,
is my favorite beer. Actually, did I have I told you that?
it is mine. It's mine too.
Oh my god, we're so cute. Uh,
We're cousins.
we are cousins. Um,
Yeah.
oh god, what was I gonna say now? I forget. Um,
Something about beer. Light beer, dark beer,
no,
Guinness.
no, I forget. But oh yeah, I
Anyway,
remember now. It's not even like Dylan was in like a sponsored ad or anything. It was she was on her own page
mm,
drinking Bud Light or showing off this Bud Light thing, and it was like
mm.
you wouldn't even be able to see it unless you went to her page and looked at her content.
They wanted to because
Felt
they
like
secretly like it.
they secretly love it. Yeah. Apparently,
Hmm.
transgender porn is most popular in red states, which I find hilarious.
I mean, are we surprised? It's the most repressed people that then need to expel or deal with their oppression by looking at things that are scandalous to them. It's
Mhm.
not really scandalous, but it's to them. It's like this
They
risque
think it's
thing that
scandalous. Yeah.
they've gotta bust their like, you know, 8 year load to because they haven't gotten any real affection or intimacy.
There's so many. There's so much clippable content already in this.
My 8 day load, yeah. But it's true. It's true though. I think there is truth to that. Maybe it's not 100% true, but I think there is definitely truth to that.
Okay. A different thing in the social cultural world is I just saw that we have a release date for Heartstopper season 2.
We do.
We
Yes, we
do.
do.
August. Wait, August 3rd. I was like, what was it again? I wrote it down. August 3rd. We are getting Heartstopper season 2.
Are you excited?
I am excited, even though it's two white twinks. I just loved Heartstopper. It was so wholesome, and it
Yeah.
felt different than a lot of the like classic high school gay love stories that we've seen already. Um,
Yeah, I mean, they have a cast that's at least diverse. The supporting cast is kind of diverse, and
mhm,
yeah, I mean, we had a Heartstopper episode. We already talked about it, so we
mhm.
people will know our views on it. But I'm excited. I hope it maintains its quality. I hope it's quick too. Like I don't want some drawn out. I liked how sort of fast paced it was. It was nice.
Yeah, and it was only 8 episodes, 30 minutes each or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And they were like they had those little animations because it's part based on a graphic novel. It was cute.
Yeah.
Um, See, this show I'm fine with not getting too dark and deep. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
totally fine with it not exploring AIDS.
Oh.
Like I like explore
Oh
things
no,
that
I didn't
young
use a
queer
condom.
AIDS, like explore young queer people topics. I mean, maybe if
Yeah.
they do a cool little prep nod, that would be
Hmm.
fun. But like, let's just, I don't, not everything has to be, you know, uh, like House of a Thousand Corpses. Like, not everything has to
Yeah.
be this intense, we're gonna look at the rough side of being gay. Keep it light, keep it fun, keep it cute,
Looking
that
at
kind
you,
of stuff.
love Victor.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
We already did that
Jesus.
comparison.
We did that too. We don't have nothing left to talk about.
Why do we keep doing this podcast?
You want to talk about beef?
um. Oh, I did actually hear some stuff about this, but yes, go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I love the show Beef,
I
and
know you
now
talked about it in the last two episodes of two different podcasts that we had.
I have a lot to talk about. So Beef, um, brilliant show on Netflix. It's still a brilliant show. However, one of the actors on Beef, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. Then again, for what he said, I'm not sorry. He years ago on a podcast described a scenario in which he, I think, was getting a massage and then forced himself onto the masseuse, who I believe was a woman. I'm pretty sure was a woman. Described it on the podcast with levity. And then afterwards, he apologized, and then I think he like deleted the post, and then like he re-apologized again. And it's been several years, and then so they hire him for this role. This had happened years ago, and it gets brought up again because social media keeps track of everything. So don't put something on the internet you don't want. All those
Oh, it
nudes.
always
Your
brings it
mom's
up.
gonna see them. Your mom's gonna see your little pecker.
It always brings it back up. You know, they brought up Lady Gaga's dick again.
I know
That
they
recently came
always.
up.
Yeah, I know they're always bringing up her dick, and she says the same. She's like, "Why does it matter? It doesn't. It doesn't matter. Let her have a dick or not.
That
I
was
mean, she
frickin'
can have whatever."
2010, Mama. What are we doing?
I know. So then, this controversy gets pushed back up to the surface. Then there's like no response from the Beef team, and then finally, I think Ali Wong and Steven Yeun and maybe someone else there, the creator, talk about it. They release a statement, and it kind of defends this guy a little bit, saying like,
Mm,
he's been through some stuff. He's been doing better, whatever, whatever, whatever. And people
mm,
online aren't really having it. They're kind of like, there are tons of Asian actors you could have hired that probably were not as problematic.
right.
Why didn't you just do that? And then people have found that Steven Yeun was, I think, a guest on that podcast a while ago, not for that episode, but for another episode where he was talking about something that wasn't exactly PG, and kind of, and now he's being attached to this, and people are saying that his character is going to go down the shitter, and people aren't going to like him anymore because he's associated.
Mm,
And it's unfortunate. At the same time, I was like, net, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe not, definitely not 20 years ago, when you are casting for a project, you look at what the person is as an actor, you look at their public life, sure, but for the most part, their public life wasn't on full display 20 years ago, because social media
yeah.
wasn't as big. Now, everything is everywhere all at once, bitch. Michelle Yeoh is
Hell
there
yeah.
with your nudes, with your DMs, and with that
And your
shit you
hot dog
say on
fingers.
Twitter and your hot dog fingers. So just like do some due diligence. Like unfortunately, if someone has done something to tarnish their name, you have to take on the risk of it affecting you if you bring them on a project. It sucks, but then again, he said some fucked up shit, so I'm not really upset that people are upset about it. It's more upsetting that I think this is such a win for Asian media, and I'm a
Mm,
white person, so I can't really speak to its impact. But for me, watching it, it was a great show just as a show. Great writing, great performances. Ali Wong is presenting, herself as a real actor, like a really good actor, and
yeah.
Steven Yeun also is an amazing actor. And his brother's so fucking hot on that show. My God,
Oh.
oh my God, I forgot his name, but his brother, the actor, so just fucking just put his whole body in my mouth. So anyway, it's
I
just
am your sandwich.
unfortunate. He is my, oh, he's so, oh, I just want to put his whole body on top of mine and have him just go dead and just like dead weight on my body.
Remember last week how I said that straight men and the way they talk about women was weird? Well,
Well,
gay men and the way they talk about men is just as
it's
weird.
it's just as weird, if not more so weird. I want his whole body on top of me. He's so beautiful. Like his face is like just so like symmetrical, and he's got like a nice like angular jawline. I just want to fucking chip my tooth on it.
Chip your tooth.
So anyway, it's unfortunate. It really sucks, but it's one of those things where it's like, do we continue to support this amazing show because other people were involved that did not make the decision to have him on the cast,
Yeah,
and those people deserve recognition.
it's a tough one. I was looking at a little bit of the discourse around this, and I was like, yeah, look, it's tough because we want to support our Asian community, but at the same time, we don't want to support people that have raped people. So I'm like,
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's hard. It's hard out here to be able to
well,
produce good content that is free from, people that are problematic.
it's also hard. It's hard to. Wait, I want to phrase this correctly because I don't want to say something wrong. It's hard to rape people. It's easy not to rape people. It's easy not to fuck this up.
I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning on this episode.
Well, yes. This segment in particular, it's easy not to sexually assault people. It is. Just don't do it. Like,
yeah, but like, there's gonna be those men that are like, I never get laid, and I want to get laid, so I'm just gonna take advantage of this woman, and that is an awful mindset to have because they think that women are their property.
incels, mama. Reddit incels.
Reddit incels.
Involuntary celibate.
Let's move on.
Yeah, you got any brighter topics?
Yes, I want to do a check out these rockin' queers segment.
Oh yeah, who is it?
If you're fine with that. So in this segment,
What if I said no? What if I said no? We're not doing. What would you do? Would you just stop? Like, what
I would just be like, oh, okay, we're moving on.
No, we're gonna do it. Who is it?
We're gonna shout out our favorite queer content creators, and show our support and appreciation for them. So today, we are spotlighting another Twitch streamer that we absolutely love. Their name is ValeOfAaron. Do you remember?
Oh
Aaron?
yeah, yes I do.
I'm gonna link his Twitch channel in the description as always of the podcast episode. So ValeOfAaron, one of my favorite streamers, honestly. He's got a really positive energy, and I always feel welcome whenever he's streaming and I pop into his chat. He goes by he, they pronouns. He's a queer variety streamer, and he plays a lot of horror games, like Dead by Daylight, Visage, and he recently began The Last of Us Part 1, which I've heard is very good game.
Sorry.
And he also has two really cute pity rescues named Aria Bean and Pigby. And they're so cute, and I absolutely love them.
Pigby?
Pigby.
Pigby. That's so cute. I love that name.
Pigby.
Well, I don't listen. People can name their dogs whatever they want. I don't know. I'm not gonna shame them. Pigby.
Anyway, everyone listening, if you're looking for a really fun, chaotic, and wholesome queer content creator, definitely go check out ValeOfAaron. Again, a link will be in the description of the episode.
Link in bio.
Link in bio. Heavily recommend their content. Amazing.
Yeah, heavy flow.
Heavily flow.
Heavenly flow.
Let's do politics, shall we? Why does politics suck?
Well, let's talk about it. So, I saw recently that Biden officially announced he's running.
He did.
With Miss Harris.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I mean, that was obvious. I mean, he was obviously going to run again. I wish that he didn't. But I think,
well,
I wish we had someone younger, someone a little bit more progressive. But it is what it is. He's obviously going to get the nomination because he is literally the president, and there's really not much of a historical record of an incumbent president ever getting primaried. That could have happened. I'll have to look that up. But it doesn't happen at all often.
It's not the norm for sure.
And seeing that Trump is the front runner on the Republican ticket currently.
What about DeSantis?
Trump is still the lead currently by like 30 points.
I know.
And the Democratic coalition already knows that Biden has beat Trump once already. So why stray from that?
Well, how? Okay, well, let's talk about this. How you feeling about Marianne Williamson?
I need to look more into her actual platform.
Well,
Because I don't actually know much about it. I know she's like kind of getting popular amongst progressives, but I need to look into exactly what she's talking about.
she's kind of tickling my fancy.
Is she? Is she? Tell me more.
She is. I keep seeing these TikToks of her speaking recently, and then of course archival stuff. And you know what? She like every other politician has problematic things that she said and done.
Hmm.
But just talking about because I just saw some videos of what she wants to do when she's actually in office currently, and I don't know. I just like obviously they're all good things. Whether or not she can get them done, who knows?
Hmm.
But you know, it's literally the most progressive platform, more progressive than Biden's. You know, cutting all student debt, increasing the tax on the rich, decreasing the tax in the middle class, yeah, increase funding for public schools.
Hmm.
I think something about healthcare, probably some sort of universal healthcare, and
Yeah.
cutting out government subsidies to insurance, like medical insurance companies, to kind of dry them out and make sure the government takes over for
Oh
medical
yeah,
insurance
yeah. That's
companies.
that's what I was talking about. How our
So
government's
I don't know.
subsidizing them. Yeah.
I hear her and I'm like, these are all the ideas I want. And then as you get to a certain age, it's like I understand the people who would be like, there's no point in voting for her because she won't win, or you're drawing votes away from Biden and he should win because we definitely don't want Trump. But at a certain age, I'm like, I don't know, like you should just vote for who you really want. And like it's the person who most clearly aligns with what you want, you vote for them. She right
No,
now
absolutely.
clearly aligns with what I want more than Biden does. So I'm like,
No,
I don't
absolutely,
know.
absolutely. If vote in the primary for Marianne Williamson, absolutely. But my only issue is like when it comes down to the actual one-on-one final election, and it's going to be a Democrat, a classic Democrat like Biden versus Trump, um, who we know who the better option is there, and unfortunately, you kind of have to, unless you have like a ranked choice voting, you kind of
Well,
have to
which we
vote for
don't have.
Biden. We don't have it. No, some places do, but New Jersey does not.
Well, what if she ran as an independent?
Um, at that point, I would still vote for Biden in the actual general race. In the
Well, Biden
primary,
lied and people died. So what about that? What about that?
I wouldn't want to put my vote on, unless I had a ranked choice vote, in which I would vote for the third party first. I would not want my vote to go away from someone who is going to get more votes. Like it's just a shitty system in which we have to vote for people, which is
It
why
is a shitty system. It
it
is.
is, and that's why I would put a ranked choice voting system, a star voting system, all those fancier ones, over this regular S one that we have.
I agree. I agree.
I agree. I want to talk about something else in the political spectrum, political sphere right now.
Mm.
So a Montana representative, I believe her name is Zooey Zephyr. She is a
Oh, yes.
she is a trans woman, and she made a quote unquote controversial statement in front of the Montana House,
Yes.
telling representatives that they will have quote unquote blood on their hands when they pass their anti-trans bills, which
Yeah.
I think we know is true.
Yes.
Because when trans people lose their health care, there's going to be a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Montana GOP kind of retaliated against her, and their House Speaker is refusing to let her speak on any bills, including the ones involving trans rights. But any bill on the House floor, they're refusing to let her speak on. So
So, is this some archaic rule that they're like, inciting against her?
I don't know if there's any specific rule because they didn't formally censure her,
Yeah.
or do like any vote to oust her or anything like that. Um, it's just the House Speaker is not acknowledging her that she's asking to speak on something because I guess the House Speaker has the right to choose who they let speak on something, and the House Speaker is just choosing to ignore Representative Zephyr.
You see, these are the little potholes of government which don't really allow it to work properly.
Yes, absolutely. And also because her district is like 10,000 people. And
Yeah.
Montana's like I feel like Montana, nobody lives there anyway. So 10,000 people is a lot in a state like Montana.
Yeah,
where no one
I'm
lives
sure it is. Yeah.
So you're taking away the voice of these 10,000 people. From, they have their representative. That's who they elected. That's who they want to speak on their behalf. And you are not letting her speak. So,
yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up because it's a terrible thing that's going on right now with all these anti-trans bills that are going around the country right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's 100% because she's trans. If a cisgender person had said that, they probably wouldn't be doing this. It's just like the what was it? The Tennessee the 3 people and the 2 of them were black, and of course the black people were the ones that were pushed out, but then they got reassigned, which was great. This is all about race and gender and sex, and it's just, I think the one upside here, and this might not be a real upside, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm feeling that the GOP, the Republicans, are grasping at the last vestiges of things that they can really rile their base up about.
Mm-hmm.
Is really just trans people and queer people in general. I think that's the last straw they have. Really the last one. Because, like, if you look at the news and you look at the arguments, it really is the only one currently that permeates, that you really hear anything about. The GOP, obviously they're talking about guns still, but, like, the guns thing is so intermittent with a tragedy such as a shooting, but like the trans thing, it just is like the queer thing is like this last thing, and they're gonna beat it to death. But I'm hoping, but the upside is that once this is over, once we actually do, and I think we will, pass legislation that really protects this group of people, that they're not gonna have much left to rile their base up about.
I think we can,
hopefully.
It's really shitty right now, but I think we can acknowledge that in a very short period of time, our society went from being very blatantly and very homophobic to letting gay people get married. And that happened over the course of like 10 years, like a decade, that societal shift happened. So I think...
Not 10. Wait, what? 10?
Yeah, like basically between 2005 to 2015, public sentiment around gay marriage completely flip-flopped between those 2 periods.
No, but I'm saying that I think you have to look at the whole time period of violence, crimes, and discrimination against gay people within this country. You can't just look at the time period in which it changed. You have to look at the whole time period.
Oh, well, absolutely. But I'm just saying, take a look at the polls from 2005 and then to 2015 when gay marriage became legalized.
Well, yes,
it was a complete flip-flop. Society shifted in about 10 years. So
it took the 10 plus decades before it to even get to that point. That's the problem here.
And so the 10 plus years before that, I feel is kind of where we are right now with the trans debate. We're fighting to get ahead, and then we'll change society over the course of time.
Well, yes.
And we'll make sure that these groups are protected. But it just sucks that we have to say, like, you're being discriminatory, you're being transphobic, you're hurting people, and have them not listen. Which, if you go back in time, that's okay.
Why? Every time I join is during either talking shit about me or...
Everyone, please welcome Jackie to the pod.
Oh!
All right, hang on. Let me change the scene. Jackie, we're literally in the middle of a podcast episode. Do you want to get in on this?
I thought you guys were just stream. And I was like, oh, wow, they're so early. They're going to be asking where I'm at any moment. This is absolutely incredible.
Oh, no, this is the wrong scene. The underqueer scene. Okay.
All right, so anyway, we were talking about trans people.
Love that.
And how we think society is eventually obviously going to catch up and get them protected. Anything to add to that conversation, Mrs.
I'm under attack every day, and you know what? A lot of the times those attacks come from the two hosts here on the stream.
It's always the people closest to you, isn't it?
You're goddamn right.
It's always someone you know.
Matt, you and I are almost matching again.
Oh my god! I need to wear a red tank top now as well.
Jackie comes to the pod and just talks about clothes.
I mean, it's important.
Matt, anything else to talk about politically before we move on to the other segment?
You want
yes.
me to go?
No, you can stay.
No.
So real quick, there's a lovely trans content creator, or not content creator, but a trans like journalist on Twitter named Erin Reed. And she's where I get like most of this information in terms of anti-trans legislation. She's been very good at keeping up on the report. She posts like every day, and is always up to date on those pieces of legislation. So I heavily recommend, if you want to keep up to date on that stuff, go follow Erin Reed on Twitter. And I believe she has links out to like Substack and other places just in case Twitter goes down the shitter, which it might soon.
That rhymed.
Rhymes.
That rhymed.
In case Twitter goes down the shitter.
Delicious.
Just wanted to put that in there. All right, what's new with the gays? Do we have any gay news?
Yeah, what's his name and what's his name got married?
Who? That's so vague.
So I'll Google it. You
You don't even know their names.
So the actor from the first season of White Lotus, hold on, gay couple that just got married. Anyway, so these two gay men apparently got together, and people were like, "Oh my god, are they together? Who knows? I don't know." Turns out they are. Lucas Gage, sorry, not Cage. Lucas Gage, is the actor, and he married some dude, some fitness guy, I think. Chris Appleton get married in Vegas, and I think they've been dating only for like 3 months or something like that.
I'm sure that will be fine. And they got married in Vegas?
Yes.
Aww.
I want the best for them.
I always want the best for my gays.
Was there subtext to that?
To what?
To what you said.
To what
Wishing
I said.
them the
Jackie
best?
said.
Yeah, no, for you wishing them, because you were like, oh, wishing them the best.
No, I wish them the best.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so they got married. Good for him.
Were you being disingenuous?
Genuine.
I know what we could talk about. Richard Armitage, mama. Is that his name? Yes.
Explain.
Richard Armitage, an actor, a fine English actor.
Look at him. I like him, with the beard, I think.
Came out as I don't think he said gay, but I think he's queer. I don't know if he came out with a name, but I think he has a male partner, or he's had a male partner. I love him as an actor. He's a good actor.
What has he acted in?
So, he was in Hannibal, the series, as the Red Dragon character, which I loved.
The Hobbit series.
He was also in The Hobbit, and I think he might have been in, no, it's really just The Hobbit and Hannibal that I know him from, I think.
Ocean's 8, who's also in.
Love that. Love Ocean's films. Love.
And Castlevania. He must have been a voice in Castlevania.
Aww.
Oh my god, he was fucking, was he Dracula? Hold on.
Was he Dracula?
No, he was Trevor. I'm sorry, he was Trevor.
Okay.
I love him. I love that whole voice cast. So yeah, Hannibal, Castlevania.
Where I wish it could
Castlevania.
Elon Musk, Trump.
But yeah, he came out as queer. Look at that.
I love that for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely love.
That was genuine that time, Pat.
I didn't know, but thank you.
Yeah. No, and the time before.
Sure. I think that's the two main gay things that I've seen recently.
Did we talk about Drag Race?
I was just about to say that. You took the words right out of my gullet.
I'm sorry. I reached
your gullet.
Throat,
my gullet.
Pulled them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you see anything back there?
Your tonsils are a little red, actually.
Your boyfriend's cum?
Yes.
So Sasha Colby, beautiful Hawaiian trans legend, drag performer, Miss Continental, won Drag Race. Obviously, if anyone's watching this, spoiler alert. It's been weeks. If you're paying attention, fuck off. It's been weeks. If anyone was watching the show, it was clear that she was going to win after, I think, like the first couple episodes. Like, she's just so miles and leagues above the other ones. Love the other cast members, obviously, but she was the one. And she, oh my god, her performance, her looks in the finale, I couldn't handle it. The bar I was in was freaking out. Her original song, Goddess, I listened to it like every day because it's so good.
Aww.
I almost saw her at $3 Bill, but my friends and I got bored waiting so long, so we left.
Oh, was that the insanely long go
Yes, yeah.
answer.
It was like, oh, hey, the event starts at 10. The drag
Yes.
queens didn't get on till after 1. And I was like, I'm not waiting.
We're not. That's too
We're
long.
not.
I love Sasha Colby. I like
Love
Lux, and I like Mistress, the 3 drag queens that were there. They're all great. I'm not waiting 3+ hours
Damn.
for these women. But I love her, and she's great. She talked a lot about, obviously being trans, about being Hawaiian, about their culture, and it's just I think like the last like 4 or 5 winners of the Drag Race series, all of them have been trans people. And I think that's
I love
great.
that.
That is
That's
lovely.
really awesome.
And her and my other favorite drag queen, Kylie Sonique Love, the other trans winner of All Stars, were roommates at one point. And they were roommates. And I would have loved to just be a fly on the wall because they're just these 2 beautiful, amazing performers.
That'd be so hilarious. I would love to be a fly on the wall when like Trixie and Katya are like doing the prep for their podcast or something.
No, I don't want to
Oh
be a
my
fly. I want to
God.
be a person in the room. I want to be
Honestly,
on their pod.
When Matt said, "I wish I were a fly on the wall," I just thought he was gonna stop right there.
Full stop.
I just
Wish I were a
on the
fly on the wall.
Flies have an average lifespan of a day, so
That's
I don't know if
not
that's
true.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's
Okay.
absolutely not true. Jesus. Well, Jackie, you weren't here for the beginning of the pod, but we were spouting some lies or possible truths right at the beginning of the pod.
Hmm.
Just
Don't you
random
always do that?
facts.
No, the shark
No.
one is real. The shark one is true.
What's the shark one?
No.
Sharks
Don't
are
tell.
older
Don't tell
than
them. Don't tell them.
trees. Oh.
Sharks what?
Don't tell them, so they have to listen to the pod.
No,
It's not
I'll
gonna
tell them now.
happen.
You know that's not gonna happen.
Sharks are older than trees, according to our.
Oh,
fossil
like
records.
evolutionarily, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just thought that
Yeah.
Well,
was so
Jackie knew.
wild.
Yeah.
Are you sick?
Perpetually. Is it lichen? Lichen are extremely old too. They're older than trees.
Yeah, werewolves are pretty old.
They sure are.
Wait,
and also,
wolves are older than trees.
No, lichen.
I said lichen.
Lychen.
the plant. And then Pat was
okay.
making a lichen Lycan joke. But
Yeah.
also, magnolia trees evolutionarily are older than bees, and they used to be pollinated by beetles that no longer exist.
Bees in a trap.
Wow.
Bees in a trap. Yeah.
Beetles in my
Evolution.
trap.
hmm
The Beatles
It's
band.
so cool.
Have you guys seen
Here
those
comes
videos
the
on
sun.
TikTok I sent you of the guy who owns all the spiders and he's feeding them bugs? Do you guys
No.
not love me?
I do love you, but my TikTok inbox is just flooded with videos from everyone. And
Well, can you look at mine? Because I send you a lot of these videos of this guy who owns about, I don't know, 800 insects and arachnids.
I love
And he's
that.
always doing fun videos of like,
Feeding them.
he was like, oh, I got this beautiful female blah, blah, blah spider, and she's gonna molt soon. And when she molts, she'll reach sexual maturity. And I got this male here, and we're gonna make babies. And he's like, oh my God, let's see if she molted. She molted. Oh my God, it's a dude. I thought it was a woman. Never mind. Because sometimes you don't know until their final molt if they're a man or a woman.
Oh, I love.
And then he's feeding them cockroaches, and then he's got a big frog that eats a bunch of them. And then this one cockroach just got fucking eaten out but was still alive. It was great.
Would you ever have bugs like that, like spiders and
No.
stuff, or do you just like watching the videos?
Ugh.
I could see you being really into it, actually.
Oh God. No. I don't.
What if they get out? What if they get out, Mama?
Well, a lot of large spiders, like the large spiders, actually aren't that dangerous because they're so fragile. They just fall off like a shelf and they're dead. But like, I don't think I would. I'd like to look. I love watching.
Yeah, I love watching too. Yeah.
Touching is extra.
It is extra.
All right. Since we have to stream in 10 minutes.
Since you've been gone.
I can't breathe for the first time.
I literally can't breathe.
I'm going to your pulmonologist.
On Tuesday, Mama, literally me coughing just now. I was like, oh, did I break a rib?
Again.
No.
Really hurts to breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to sign us out because we have to stream in 10 minutes. So
you don't want to do a quick would you, could you, should you?
If you can come up with something real quick, we can do a quick would you, could you.
Sure, give me 1 second.
One.
Gotcha. Would you rather be parasitized?
Like a plastic bag.
Oh
sorry.
God.
Would you rather be parasitized by a parasitoid wasp that will just lay? It basically kills you and lays eggs in you, and the eggs like eat out your body, and they get out, and they're just the babies. Or would you rather be parasitized by a fungus that would control your mind and make you spread the fungus?
So
Either way, you die,
either way, I'm
basically.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, how do you want to die? Do you want to be like a dead carcass on the road that just is like full of like
Maggots,
wasp
basically,
eggs,
yeah.
wasp eggs, or do you want to be a roaming, like mindless drone for a fungus to spread? Yeah,
Fungus.
Interesting.
For me.
Jackie's going with fungus. I think I'm gonna go with the wasps.
Oh!
I'm gonna go with fungus because a lot of
No!
times they like flood the body with chemicals, and I want to like see what that's
It'd
about.
probably be a fun trip. Like maybe like before you go out, you're just so fucking high.
I mean, that's me all the time.
Here's why I'm going with the wasps.
Tell me.
Well, for me, it's because wasps are pollinators, and we need more pollinators in the world. So I'd be doing.
Well,
and you wanna-
they're not as good pollinators, but okay.
But we still need more of them.
Well,
they need to pollinate our plants.
It could. There's the fig wasp. Have I told you about the fig wasp?
No.
I have. I must have, because I'm obsessed. The female fig wasp helps pollinate the figs and then drills herself into the fruit, lays her eggs in there. But drilling herself in there, she's lost her wings. She dies in there.
Oh.
And then the eggs hatch and they fly out through the hole.
Damn.
And then when you open up some figs, there's just dead wasp in there.
Oh, I'm gonna open up some figs. Lay my.
I don't
in
think
there.
it's common, but what?
Wow.
I'd be
Is this call me by your name? What is
I
this
mean-
call me by you're coming into a fig?
What's wrong with you?
What
You want to
you
be
taking
eaten
a
out
bite
by
out of it?
wasps? You want to find a fucking rotten wasp
Okay, I'm sorry
pig?
that I want to contribute to our plants.
Go plant some
surviving.
fucking wildflowers.
You know, Jackie gets so mad when they interrupt the pod. They come in here opinionated, trying to control the pod.
Oh, so a woman can't have
O'Reilly?
opinions? Oh. I think I literally have to go tape my ribs.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's sign out of the pod. Jackie, thank you for joining us for this brief.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's completely
Love it.
fine.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Amazing.
Thank you for joining us for this brief 15-minute period that you were here.
Mm.
And thank you everyone else for listening or watching this episode of the What the Gays Think podcast. We do have another podcast that the three of us host. It's called Under Queer Review. And if you haven't gone and listened to any of those where we review the latest and greatest in queer media, go ahead and check that out. You could just look up Under Queer Review. It's wherever you download podcasts.
Yeah.
We are on Twitter as well at Pride Empire, at where the E is a 3. And we're also on like a lot of other places now. We're on Instagram at that same handle. We're on TikTok at the same handle.
OnlyFans?
I don't
Not
think
yet.
we're on OnlyFans.
Not yet.
Check
No?
out that link tree because honestly, we have links to a lot of different places now. We're posting reels, we're posting TikToks, we're posting
We're
clips all over
posting
the place.
nudes.
We're
Posting clips?
posting nudes, posting YouTube shorts. We're all over the place.
Oops,
You
got your
should talk
clip.
about
We're on Twitch. Go follow
Okay.
us on Twitch at Pride Empire because we stream and we're gonna start streaming in about 5 minutes or so. We
Drop your
stream
prostate.
we stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 8:30. Jackie is dying.
Well, the rib just punctured the lung.
It really did.
Yeah.
And we have a Discord where we post fun memes, and that's also where you can get some notifications for us. So thank you, everybody, and I am Matt Klubeck.
Jackie.
And I am a mold drone. Fungus drone.
God. And I'm swallowing the brother from Beef. I'm swallowing him whole. Bye.
Bye.